Hello and welcome to Forgotten Temples with myself, Mr. B, and we're out having another adventure. Now this time I have 3 fantastic sites to show you, and we're starting here at Ak Yum. Now then, visually this is the one that's not going to impress you, but historically it should, because this was once the main temple of the empire in this area, because this was once a state temple. But there's something more interesting, and that is this was the first pyramid temple in Cambodia. But look at it now. It literally sits by the side of a dirt road, which is just there, and nobody gives it a second glance. But this place was the heart of it all. Now, to give you a better idea, I'm going to take you to another pyramid temple, and my goodness, that one is an eye popper. And here he is, an absolutely magnificent pyramid temple. Its name, Baksi Jum Krong, and it is absolutely wondrous. The name itself actually has a meaning. What it means is the bird that shelters with its wing, because ancient legend has it that a king fled the city once due to it being under siege, and from the skies a mighty mythical bird descended, and with its wing it protected the king from any harm. Now, I don't know if that tale is true. I sincerely hope so. But what I do know to be true is up there, just at the head of that doorway, is a Hindu god. And it's my absolute favourite god. And here he is. And for us to go and visit that ancient Hindu god, we must get up to that doorway. And there's something worth noting, because I've read that once up there was a statue made of gold. How true that is? Well, who knows? Because history is made up of myth, legend, and of course fact. But which percentage of what, nobody ever really knows. And especially with a temple like this, which is nigh on 1,000 years old. I've paused here so you can see the angles on this building. It is truly exceptional. I adore this temple. And by me showing you the broken down pyramid temple, the oldest of its kind, I think it'll give you a deeper appreciation of this fantastic site. But this fantastic site holds a lot of fear for myself, because I'm afraid of heights, and this stairway is incredibly steep. It can only be described as extremely perilous. And this is where that god dwells. But it's worth taking a moment to look away from his temple, because what we see is this wondrous jungle setting. I mean, if you're going to build a home for a god, what finer place could you find? And it's round the corner we go, and this is where we see something wildly interesting, because the temple will actually speak to us. Have a look at this. Here is ancient Sanskrit going back to the 10th century. Now what this says is about how mighty and great the king is. You know, how wonderful he is in battle and how good to his people are. Quite simply, it's ancient propaganda. But I promised you a god. And we have to step back, because if you didn't know, you may well miss him. You see, he's up here. Now, those of you viewing in India will get this immediately, by the multiple elephants' heads. Because atop there is Indra, my favourite god. He's absolutely fantastic, and usually These depictions have been mutilated or looted, but Indra has stayed strong and he is still here to this day. From Indra, astride his mighty white elephant, we must gaze downward, because there's another deity through this ancient doorway, and that is Buddha. And it's only right we show him some respect as well. And here he is, laying as he does in one of his traditional poses. And there's something else on the floor I just wish to quickly show you. Do you remember me mentioning a statue that they say was made of gold? Well, did it once stand here? Because we clearly have two places where statues could have been slotted in. And the offerings, you know, the water poured over the top and then come out as blessed water via this channel here. And if there was a golden statue, that would be absolutely marvellous. And if he stood, he would have stood exactly where I'm standing now. And this is the view he would have been afforded. Well, if the truth be told, what that statue would have looked out when he looked through this doorway is a very different sight. Because this was a megacity. And to give you an example, back in the 13th century, London had 50,000 inhabitants. This place had 1 million. It's astonishing. And watching over it all was our wonderful god Indra. Now, in my research, because I'm learning more and more about the Hindu religion, and as I do, it's pulling me further and further in. I'm an enthusiast that catalogues these temples because I love them so. And I'm starting to fall in love with the religion itself, and especially Indra. I found a piece that was in the India Times, and I think it's a wonderful testimony to Indra. What it says is, Indra is a thunderbolt wielding storm god, ruler of the sky who associates with divas. But he acts like an entitled boy. He is perennially insecure and a hedonist. He enjoys the company of damsels and musicians and loves Suma so much that he even ignores his gurus. Basically, he was just like me. He was a bit of a wild one, and I love him so for that, and I love the religion so, because the gods are so very human, and that is why we can learn so much from them. Now then, our trip isn't over. We've got that third destination, and it's an absolute cracker. It's just that way, and it's the mysteriously named Death Gate. And here is the last place I wish to bring you on our little adventure. Have a look. There is the benign face of Buddha smiling down on us. This sight is so remarkable, I just couldn't miss it. This is Death Gate. And not many people come here. It's down a muddy track. It's not easy to access. And especially now, in the monsoon rains, we've just been hit by an enormous thunderstorm. Lightning and thunder prevailed. And it was just as I was coming down from the temple. So maybe Indra was listening and he heard that review that I read out. And he was none too pleased. And being the lord of such things, he unleashed his power. This gate is one of 5 that enter into the Angkor Thom complex. It was built by Jayavarman the 7th in approximately the 12th century. Now, I need to do something I often do in these videos, and that's to walk away from you. Now, I'm not walking away because we're not the best of friends. We obviously are very, very dear friends now. But it's the only possible way that I can give you a true idea as to this incredible bit of engineering and its outstanding majesty. because that is the best way to describe it. And the further I go from you, the smaller I get. And that is the whole point, because these things are built to show might and strength. And look how insignificant I have now become. And bear in mind, this is just a gateway. It's truly incredible. And with such a name as Death Gate, even the words are imposing. Now, there's 3 legends I know of that are associated with this gate. One is that defeated armies would re-enter the city this way. And that would kind of make sense because there's another gate called Victory Gate. The second legend says this gate was reserved. It was reserved for the procession that would take the dead king out of the city. The third, strangely, has an echo of old London town. And what that says is traitors' heads were brought here, and this is where they would be displayed, exactly like they did at dear old London Bridge. Now, I can't tell you if any of those are true, but the truth is, I'm very partial to any story that's steeped in myth and in legend. So whose footsteps am I walking in? Is it that of traitors, a defeated army, or the procession way of a recently dead king? It's interesting to think what went through these doors. Now, I need to ask you something. We've already established in that last shot that you and I are the best of chums. And what I need to ask you is to please let me know in the comments if you want to see more of these videos, more of you and I going on adventures to far off lands, to temples that you would never ever see. Because these videos are being sponsored by the Indian government and they are listening. And if you say, I like these little adventures, I want to see more of them, then comment down below, because they are listening. And of course, as your most recent friend, I would be deeply grateful. So please let us know. I also ask you to like and subscribe so you can join me again next time. And until next time, I, as always, wish you absolutely nothing but the very best. You take good care.